This is Mark Waid, writer of Superman Birthright, and you're listening to Krypton Report.
Up in the sky, look!
It's a bird!
It's a plane! It's
the Krypton Report.
Host Tyler, and welcome to Krypton Report, a podcast dedicated to all things Superman, Supergirl. We're going to look at the Supergirl TV series as well as the Krypton TV series, anything that has to do with the characters in their world. Comics, movies, TV shows. We will talk about everything and anything. We are part of the Southgate Media Group podcasting network. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at Krypton Report. You can also email us at kryptonreportpod@gmail.com. If you get a chance to go over to iTunes, Apple Podcasts, please leave us a review to help us get better. You can find me personal at JTYPatrick on Twitter and everything else. You can buy a Krypton Report t-shirt at tpublic.com. Check it out. They have all sizes, colors, styles of shirts. Just go to tpublic.com and search Krypton Report, and you'll see our logo. And every time you buy a shirt, it helps support other podcasts from southgatemedia.com. Thank you. Enjoy the show. Welcome to the Krypton Report. With me today, as always, is that voice from the other side of Ohio. That's right. The Superman Red to my Superman Blue. The voice who sounds deeper than me and my problems with puberty. Mr. James Cole. Welcome.
Hey, how's it going?
I always try to think of something just to throw him off, people, but, and also, we don't want to, not announce that, the Superboy is over here, Mr. Solomon. Hey, Solomon. He's like, hey. So we're going to dive right into the news here. Jumping off, as we're recording this today, so we're catching up here. They announced Pennyworth on Epix, a Batman prequel series from the producers of Gotham that has nothing to do with the Alfred on Gotham. So I have really no desire for this.
Yeah, it's not something I'm going to go out of my way to find. I can only think that the only way it would be interesting is kind of the Earth One or the Gotham style Alfred who got like a military past and stuff like that. Other than that, that would not be appealing.
The only two ways, okay, is if it was completely tied into Gotham, where it was the Alfred of Gotham when he meets Thomas leading into the premiere of Gotham, The other way is if they cast Max Irons to play a young version of Jeremy Irons to be Alfred of the DC movies. That could be a little interesting, but that's probably not what we're going to see. So that's that. Speaking of Gotham got a season 5, and it's going to be the final season, and it's going to be a short season of 13 episodes and premiere mid-season. So okay. I'm cool with that, because if you remember, when Gotham season 1 debuted, it was only supposed to be like 13 episodes. And then it was doing so well, they ordered more. That's why they drug out that whole ogre story for like 3 or 4 episodes. Because they had to fill. And I'm just glad they got a season to kind of tie up their story. And with the way that they were talking about their idea for season 5, I'm hoping we get like some sort of a time jump. Or as you put it, it gives young Bruce a time to bulk up so he can actually look better when they start shooting.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna, if he's supposed to don the cape and cowl by the end, he's got to beef up a tad. It'll give him a couple extra months to put in some work, and they definitely got to develop him to become that character in 13 episodes.
Oh yeah. I completely agree. So I just think that's going to be interesting. But we got that. Let's see. We got the announcement that the DC Universe streaming service is going to be doing Doom Patrol, the series. I'm not really that versed on the Doom Patrol, so okay. It's gonna, as long as it spawns, which would make sense from the episode Doom Patrol that's gonna be on Titans. That just makes the most sense.
Yeah,
so,
that's what I've heard. Is that it's supposed to be a spin-off, the same actors, the same characters that they're introducing in the Doom Patrol episode is supposed to be.
It just makes the most sense. So we also got our first promo picture of Young Justice Season 3. Are you looking at this? Do you have it? Or did I send to you?
Did you? Let me see. Oh, no, I don't have it yet.
Hold on. It's coming.
Are you talking about the image? It's got Nightwing. It's got Superboy in the background. Looks like, Black Lightning in the background.
Yep. So.
Yeah, I know which image you're talking about. I just don't have it.
All right. I just sent it to you.
Oh, so, I think it's coming through.
So, like he said, it's got Superboy in the background. It's got Tigress. And it has Black Lightning kind of in the background. Then, like in the midground is Morpho, someone I don't know, someone I don't know, someone I don't know, Katana, and then in the front foreground is Nightwing, and it looks rad.
Yeah, well, it's Young Justice, and anybody who's seen the first 2 seasons, they are eagerly anticipating the 3rd season coming out.
There's 2 things I want from this 3rd season. The first is I want Wally to come back based on my theory that he didn't die, he just got absorbed into the Speed Force. And 2, I want to continue where Darkseid's coming. Because that was so awesome. Spoilers, okay, people, spoilers. At the end of season 2, we find out that Darkseid was pulling all the strings. And also, quick side note here, was anyone else mad at the end of season 2 that Jay Garrick didn't go run with the Flashes? Why it had to be Wally? Young guy, got a lot to live for. Jay, old, already lived his life kind of thing. Just throwing that out there, okay? And then we got a 1-image shot of the Harley Quinn animated series. And it looks alright. Like, she's in a bar. And it looks like, if you look at it, she's on the bar. She looks like Harley from the current comics. And it looks like we have Clayface, King Shark, Killer Croc, Poison Ivy, Killer Frost, Kite Man, Condiment King, all hanging out in the bar, and someone's throwing a bottle at her face. So, it could be a cool series. I like Harley, but I'm more of a fan of the Harley Joker dynamic.
Right. They've specified that this is an adult cartoon for Harley Quinn, so you can expect plenty of crude humor, I'm assuming, and probably even some graphic violence, and that could lead to the history with the Joker, and
which would be interesting because I find their dynamic more interesting than Harley by herself. I think Harley's a character that I prefer her paired with someone, whether it's Harley and the Joker or Harley and Ivy. I like the dynamic of her with someone.
Yeah, I think actually her character works better having relationships to bounce off of people.
Yep.
That's just the way she works.
So the next thing is. Quick rumor, we won't spend a lot of time, but supposedly the Man of Steel sequel is one of the 2020 movies, which we discussed last time. And then supposedly the other rumor is that Ben Affleck really wants to carry on being Batman.
I hope and pray for both. So
as do I, because 2020 sounds so far away till I think it's 2018, and then I'm like, dang.
Right. And it's already May of 2018.
Well, here's something really fast to put life in perspective. Man of Steel came out in 2013. BVS was officially announced in July of 2013. By the time that BVS was released, which was 3 years later, I had moved back from North Carolina. We had gotten pregnant, had our son, and he was a year old by the time that movie came out. That just kind of wow. When that movie was announced in casting, I was looking forward to it. I had no idea that this miracle child was coming. And by the time the movie came out, I was sharing the experience with my son. And then the last bit of news we saved till the end because it's sad is Margot Kidder passed away at 69. The woman that most people think of when they think of Lois Lane. She is my third favorite Lois, or fourth. Nothing against her. I like some other versions better, but that's the medium that we live in. As we have a lot to choose from, but it's still sad. There's a lot of. She was supposed to be at Motor City Con the next weekend in Detroit, and so it's just it's sad, for all the
so close to us.
Yeah, I know, so close. I actually was going to try to go, but life, because Tom Welling's going to be there, and I think Rosenbaum's going to be there now too. So now I'm going to cry. But that's the news. Any thoughts you have about Margot?
No, I just sad to hear when somebody goes, and I'll.
So I was wrong. There is one other thing that this is going to help us bounce back into happiness. The trailer for the Death of Superman animated DC Universe film did drop, and it's dope.
Ironic to talk about happiness with the Death of Superman.
Yeah, I know. It's
right after.
well, Solo's on this huge Doomsday kick right now. We've been playing Injustice 1 all the time because you can be Doomsday in it.
Right.
I showed him my Death of Superman graphic novel today, and he asked me to read it to him, a storybook and everything. So I'm so pumped for this film to watch with him. And side note, I'm really hoping that Doomsday gets released on Krypton because I want to share that moment with my son. But so what are your thoughts on the trailer? Let's talk trailer.
Talk trailer. Well, it looks really interesting. I'm intrigued by the whole concept of the trailer. It looks like Doomsday's crashing to Earth. It's possible from what they sound like. Looks like satellites, maybe stuff like that crashing with it. But it looks like the meteor that probably is carrying Doomsday is crashing to the Earth in present time. So it's a little different than him crashing here thousands of years ago and breaking his way out of the tomb and just going on a rampage. Lots of similarities. He's got a similar burial suit type deal.
The
on him.
Suit.
Yeah.
I'm really liking the look of this trailer. I like that it shows there's a line in it, the Justice League says he's already beaten a couple of us, and it shows the Justice League fighting him.
So Batman says 3 members down and we just got here.
Yes.
That's how quickly he dropped them all.
We're going to do, coming up in July, August area, we're going to do a Death of Superman preparation. We're going to, review the book, watch the Superman Doomed, and then, this, and I don't want to spend too much time talking about the Superman Doomed because we'll get there when we did, not Superman Doomsday, Superman Doomed was something else, my bad. Because there's things I don't want to say, but with this, I like that it's a 2-part film. I like that it's the Superman of continuity. So we're going to go back, James and I here, we're going to review Justice League War, Thrones of Atlantis, and Justice League vs. Teen Titans. And Superman does appear in Justice League Dark in one scene, but that's not enough for us to really review. So that's the continuity Superman. And yeah. So it's cool because we already have some emotional time with that particular Superman. So it's not just a fresh, new Superman character. One thing I am a little curious about is how the relationship of Lois Lane will play. Because as far as we know in the continuity, him and Wonder Woman have been together.
Yeah. The one thing they did kind of show a hint at in Throne of Atlantis when Wonder Woman and Clark were out on a date. He pulled his hand back when Lois showed up. So they've kind of only hinted at something about it.
Exactly. So it makes me like, is it going to be like an off-screen thing where, because I feel like Clark's going to reveal himself to be Superman to Lois in this. We saw that in a preview trailer during the thing that came out with Suicide Squad Hell to Pay. Another thing, what do you think of Rainn Wilson's voice as Lex?
He sounds intelligent. Beyond that, I got to see how he plays the whole character.
And I agree, because Clancy Brown as Lex is burned into my brain forever. And there's been some people who have done Lex, and I'm like, okay. And there's some that have done Lex, I'm like, no, I don't like this at all. And I'm a big Office fan. So, I think Rainn Wilson, I think of Dwight. But I really liked the couple lines of dialogue we got in the trailer. It sounded good, and this is our first time meeting the continuity Lex Luthor.
Yes, it is.
There's other continuity films, but they're more Batman-centric. There's a total of, hold on, I'm going to count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It looks like 9 from where I'm sitting. Continuity-based films. I could be off by one or something. I'm looking across the room, but there's quite a bit of them.
Most of them since Justice League War has come out. So,
well, the pattern they were doing was like 2 continuity films and then a one-off. And then this year it's the same pattern. We got Gotham by Gaslight. Man, I can't talk. Is the continuity film or the one-off, and then Hell to Pay and Death of Superman are the continuity films. So,
yeah, which actually is kind of cool. Death of Superman being based off of an important story, but also being rolled into continuity.
Which I like, and I also like that it's going to be a little bit different than the actual book, because, like in the book, because you have to deal with the continuity of the comics at the time and everything. We don't see a lot of the actual Justice League, like Booster Gold there, and some of the other characters.
Yeah, it's like the Justice League International or something like that at the time.
Yeah, so having the core Justice League there is just, it's awesome.
Yeah, something you've never seen before.
But gonna be awesome. Can't wait. August 7th. I don't want to skip too much time, but man, let's get that,
Yes, I'm eagerly waiting.
All right, so now we're going to talk Supergirl of Two Minds. All right, here we go. This opens up with the mayor. Have we ever seen the mayor in Supergirl? I thought about
No, not that I can recall.
So that was a shocker. And then, going off my notes here, Brainy shows up and they don't recognize it's Brainy at first because he has an image inducer, and then Wen walks in and goes, image inducer? That's exactly like the kind of thing that I had said about the Titans, like with Starfire, that we had referenced before discussing the idea of an image inducer, which saves on looks, saves on production budget, because now you don't have to make Brainy look like Brainiac 5. So, yes, people, that could be something that ties into Titans. We'll see. But yay me for trying. Okay. So then we get Imra, who's all about killing, wants to kill Pestilence because she's going to be Blight, blah, blah, blah. Have we not talked about the Phantom Zone, people? Seriously, there's a Phantom Zone projector. Your villain runs to you, you shoot them with the projector, they're in the zone. That's how you can get rid of Doomsday easily. That's how you can get rid of the World Killers. Just lock them in the Phantom Zone. But I know that Supergirl, it's all about saving them, saving their mind. You know, I got that. But seriously, just put them in the zone, okay?
Well, like any prison, I guess, even an interdimensional prison, they always find a way out.
I guess. I guess. But we get Sam. This is weird. Like, I don't know how I feel about this, but I guess when Sam turns into Rain, like, her mind goes to another place. But now she's having, like, memories of it. So how did she not have any memories or anything from before? It's kind of weird that it's in some sort of, like, weird spiritual plane or something that her mind is in.
I mean, I could only think of maybe, like, it was more hidden from her. Like, she wasn't prepared or knew enough to actually, like, remember and experience what happens there.
I guess.
I mean, when Rain could take her place, I mean, she could be there, basically, like, blacked out there.
True.
You know? I mean, that's my only headcanon for it.
So, we also get Lena's trying to help Sam. You know, she's trying to figure out the triggers that set her off into turning into Rain. And I was thinking, like, did she have triggers before? I thought it was just where she was slowly becoming Rain full time after Rain was quote unquote activated in her. Because I thought about, remember early on, like, supposedly Sam can't be hurt when she's not Rain. But remember when she got shot by the bullet early in the season? And,
yeah, she didn't even feel it.
Yeah, and she wasn't Rain at the time. So, or like, just one of those things, like, we could come up with a fan rationale or whatever that quickly Rain ignited to save her or whatever, you know, to protect its vessel. Okay, but it's just one of those things I was thinking about.
Yeah, that's about it.
You know, they talk about the transfusion and the cure, and I'm like, okay, like, it's super science, I get it. But sometimes I'm just like the whole, like, Superman's powers being transferred, that'd be like me touching you and all of a sudden you're getting my black hair. You know? It's like all of a sudden you're just like, whoa, how'd I get black hair? Or I touch you and all of a sudden you get my tattoos. Things don't work like that, you know? Like, so it's kind of annoying when they talk about, like, the genes and everything as if it can be like, a transfusion could cure her.
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's a lot of stuff, you know, like, mysticism and super science and, you know, things that just have to suspend your disbelief. And, you know, something that Lena might be thinking, perhaps, you know, as, say, a cure or something, you know, it's still beyond what she knows or understands. That she might think she's trying to do something, but it wouldn't work.
Now, are all the world killers Kryptonian based? Because we know Rain is. But, like, we saw just the one ship get sent. Were all three of them supposedly on the ship? Or, you know, are they all from that, like, what do they call it? The Kryptonian Witches group or whatever?
That's not something that they've expressly, spoke of that. Cause yeah, they've only shown the one. I mean, was it, I don't know, the essences or the spirits or something like that?
Yeah.
All aboard the shuttle.
So
maybe
I'm kind of, interested. Like, once again, I would really like to watch the show straight through. I get tired of the breaks because there's little details and stuff like that you forget or you lose track of.
Yeah. Yeah. And this year's schedule has been so messed up. Like,
yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
Yeah. I can't, that's why I'm glad that CW has that deal with Netflix. So that a week after the shows are done, can watch them straight through from beginning to end.
Exactly. Because I still gotta go back. There's an episode or two I missed of Legends I need to go watch. I might do that tomorrow. Now, Okay, were you ever a big Batman Beyond fan?
I own the complete series on DVD.
I knew I liked you. Wasn't Blight his villain? Like it was Powers, like when he got like the radiation, wasn't he Blight?
That does sound familiar.
I need to pop mine back in. Which reminds me, side note, tangent here. I was looking on Netflix. If you look, there is no DC content on Netflix other than the CW shows. And slowly, all DC content seems like it's being taken off streaming services. So, preparing for the DC streaming service. Because I remember the day that Justice League, Batman Beyond, Batman Brave and the Bold, all of them dropped on Netflix. I was so happy. So happy. Okay, now, back to Supergirl. This whole episode is them trying to find and stop Pestilence. Imra is going crazy because that's their mission. They're there to stop Pestilence, who turns into Blight. Imra annoys me. I'm just saying this again. Just straight up. One thing that annoys me is how she doesn't say Mon-El. She says, like, Manel. Like, his name is Meneel. Manel.
Well, since they gave her a purpose, since they came back from break, she's actually gotten to do something, even though, she's just basically driven by her emotion, which she says that she can separate from, but she's purely driven by her emotion. But at least she's got something to do at this point, whereas before, she was just there and annoying.
Yep.
But at least she's got something to do, and she's able to pull off what she has to do.
And a quick side note here with this whole thing, I don't want them to all of a sudden discover black kryptonite or something, and that's how they save Reign. Just throwing that back out there. Okay.
I hope they learned from black kryptonite in Smallville season 8. Would not be the way to go.
No, it would not. Now, we do see that Pestilence, which is such an interesting, if you think about it, we have Purity, Pestilence, and Reign. Okay, one of them doesn't feel like it belongs. Like, I just feel like those are some interesting names. But
yeah, the Purity always definitely.
It would be interesting if there was more meaning behind each of their names, like they were three sides of something, more than like just three random. The Pestilence will kill, the Purity will redo, and then what? What solo? Who? You don't know. So Pestilence infected this area, and we find out that she infected Gwen and Alex because they start getting a nosebleed, and the Legion has a cure, but technically the cure is only for Blight, which she hasn't turned into yet, so their antidote cure doesn't work. So they have to get deep.
Yeah, they need to modify it.
So they're trying to figure out who Pestilence is, and my favorite line is Mon-El's like, well, did you try her social media? And Braini's like, social media? He's like, yeah, millennials. It was this trend of letting everyone know what you were doing. It didn't stay around. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, it's hanging on so far, but.
So we've basically seen, skipping a little bit ahead, is I can't remember her name, who is Pestilence. Like her other human side.
Grace. I forget her last name, but Grace.
She likes being Pestilence. She's already like giving herself over to Pestilence. Like, she likes it. She's not like the others where they were kind of fighting it and not wanting to accept it. Which I thought was really like a cool, just different. Because, Supergirl's trying to talk to Grace and realize that Grace and Pestilence are now one. And
yeah, which is pretty crazy, I mean, she's a doctor, so she figured she could get through to her, that she, believed in her Hippocratic oath and everything, but it pretty much was like Grace was already obsessed with the power, playing God as the doctor. Now she's, that all-powerful character. She just gave over to it.
What's crazy, it's almost like now she can make them sick, then turn around and cure them for a real God complex. Cool, Solo. So basically, they square off, and they get what they need to cure everyone from pestilence. Great. And then it ends where my notes say that Supergirl finds out that Sam is Rain. I think that's correct. I got 2 weeks worth of notes.
Yeah. They locate where they locate like the signals from pestilence and purity heading to L-Court. And so they follow them to the destination, or they intercept them at the destination and find out that Lena has Sam locked up and being experimented on, and find out that Sam is Rain, which is a pretty cool shot of, there's Supergirl, Mon-El, John, and somebody else there. The only thing was John was still Hank Henshaw. He wasn't Martian Manhunter at the time when they showed up.
Yeah, they got to save on that budget money.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, we can't.
But
they're like, we can't do this just yet. What do you? Yeah, Doomsday. Right. That's right, Solomon.
Need to get that whole multiverse line and make the Doomsday action figure.
Yes. I know. I want the Superman Doomed, just side note, because I thought that was a cool storyline.
I have that book.
It's great.
I like it.
So that's how it ends. And I really want Mon-El to meet Superman. Because Superman saw Mon-El at the start of last season, but because I'm really liking Mon-El now. So I really like Superman to meet him. I like to see them talk, become bros.
Yeah. Right. Well, Superman could definitely have the, the concerned older brother, persona going on there, acting big tough dude in front of, Mon-El, telling him what's what.
Exactly. Okay. So what would you rate this episode?
Some of the revelations, maybe a little, inconsistency with the storytelling, just trying to evolve and push the story. The pestilence was pretty cool. It's probably an 8.
I agree. I liked the brainy side. I liked Lena, because I really like what Lena's doing. The pestilence stuff was really cool. But yeah, a little inconsistency in the story. It bothers me because, we watch these shows with detail. It's like the writer, I know it's different people writing, and I know how a writer's room works and stuff, but little details, they don't get past us.
Yeah, that's television for you, though.
Dun, 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 dun.
I did like the Brainy and Win stuff.
The Win and Jimmy stuff, because I feel like Jimmy, they just don't know what to do with.
At least he's got a bro relationship with Win that's been able to be explored.
2 guys,
especially since the return
by Kara,
right? Well, especially since the return, shot through the heart. They had a good moment, talking to each other. They're friends, and they portray that really well. The actors and the script, they do a good job, and I'm actually glad they're giving Win some character and emotional development.
Oh, me too. Totally. I'm still waiting for Win to meet Cisco. Okay, I'm still waiting for that. in the next crossover, because I would like to almost see like a mission of like Cisco, Wynn, and Felicity, and maybe Curtis or something. Like that would be pretty cool.
I
could
deal with Felicity in that point.
Felicity, Cisco, Ray, and Wynn. Like they're on a mission together. That would be pretty awesome.
Yeah, Ray isn't given enough to do, and it'd be nice to see him. It's nice to see him when he gets to interact with smart people.
Krypton. We're going to talk Krypton transformation. So this episode picks up right where the last one left off, with Brainiac's infected voice of Rao attacking and brainwashing everybody. Which was kind of cool. You know, sometimes it's nice to see the villain win for a while and then hope that the hero's going to get there. And I don't know why, but it's just me, but like when the Krypton title card came up, it reminded me of the old way the Heroes title card came up on the TV show Heroes. The music, the look of it, and everything. I was like, I don't know why it reminded me of Heroes.
I could see that.
I do like that the voice kind of put Darren Vex in his place. Like he knows he's lying, and he even says like there is no voice of Rao, only the agent of Brainiac.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean he tells Darren that if he senses any deception from him, that's it, he's dead. So he gives up everybody to save his own life.
Of course he does, and we'll see that here in a minute. We do get a cutaway. We do hear Vex talk about his parents and their gods, and he confesses to his coup and being a traitor to the voice, but as he's still pleading to be a minion of Brainiac. What a weasel.
Yeah, I did like that. I like that part where he was telling the voice, telling Brainiac, you know, why he staged the coup against the voice. You know, the fact that his parents worshipped another religion, and when the voice of Rao came into power, like he said, at first it was tolerated, but it just like over time it was everybody in other religions, they just started disappearing and becoming oppressed. And I thought that was very interesting.
I agree. It is, and that's a whole nother topic that we could talk about more, and I just don't feel like it at this moment. 'Cause I feel like that's a thread that could be in this show more, because we did see the people that were protecting Doomsday, that were worshiping, quote unquote, the old gods. So that's very interesting there. Let's see. Now we do get to see the cape again. And not much is gone. So it seems like our ticking clock isn't moving that quickly. And Adam is ready to go home, and he has Val in the fortress fixing the Zeta Beam device because it was damaged. I feel like in some ways this Adam Strange might be like somebody's like, oh, we'll use Booster Gold. And like they wrote this whole thing like, we can't use Booster Gold. We'll just change his name to Adam Strange. No one will notice.
I mean, it's a possibility. You know, the Zeta Beam device is something that is Adam Strange specific that I'm aware of, but I mean, time travel, you know, it's very that could be a complicated thing to write. So to change it from one character to another, it's like, is that easy? I mean, as long as the show is in development, who knows, right?
Exactly. I mean, we know that originally in Supergirl, and if you watch the pilot, it's pretty evident that Hank Henshaw was Hank Henshaw. You know, it wasn't until like they were on set having almost completely finished filming that Jeff Johns made the comment about what if he's Martian Manhunter. And they added that little bit like of the glowing eyes and stuff like that to make him Martian Manhunter. Because if you watch the pilot and then watch the second one, he changes. Like his acting and demeanor changes. So I mean, things happen in development and at different times. So for all we know, that could be a case, or someone just made an amalgam character because they're lazy. We do see that Darren basically is ready to kill Nyssa. And
yeah, that stunned me because he pulled the trigger. Like he had all intentions to actually kill her.
Exactly. That's why he's a horrible person.
Yeah. Lucky she, used her hologram device and got the drop on him.
Total Loki.
Right.
And I was like, wow, I think Nyssa could be a really good character, seeing what they do with her. Because maybe she is kind of becomes a good character. And as of right now, I mean, we pretty much figured out that I don't think that Seg and Lyta end up together. Just throwing that out there. And we don't know.
I don't think so either.
Also, was Zod born at the Genesis Chamber? Because he says he knows his father was just a soldier. Just a thought. And we learned that Dev M has been brainwashed. He's one of the brainwashed Sagittarii by Brainiac. And Lyta takes him out.
Yep, he used her to get to Jaina out in the Outlands. It was pretty brutal how she blew his arm off and then he dropped.
Dude, she was like, screw you. I'm like, that's not exactly how I want to, be with my woman.
I suppose if I'm brainwashed by an alien and, I mean, try everything, but, do what you have to do.
We get a really great mother-daughter scene of Primus admitting that she did the coup. She did everything for Lyta. It was for her. For her child. And it kind of humanizes, in a sense, Primus a little bit more.
Yeah. I think that was actually pretty strong for their relationship because the entire season so far, she knew she didn't believe that her mother ever believed in her. She thought that all her mother was about was her duty and the fact that, and she questioned why, if you didn't know that he was Brainiac, why would you do that? That didn't even cross her mind that she did it for her.
Exactly. And, and then in this scene, a beat later, is when Jaina meets General Zod. DG. Or GZ. Man, I'm tired. The general, and that's when he talks about his soldier being a soldier that killed at Kandar. Because they ask, who's your father? Because, Jaina is, investigating him. She don't trust this guy. I wouldn't. And then we get the line a little bit later. I nearly castrated myself.
Yeah. That was so funny.
Does that matter? Yeah. I'm trying to figure this out. With the Genesis channel, does that really matter? Are you really using the equipment like that, buddy?
Well, yeah. I mean, not for that purposes. I mean, it seems like they still enjoy the pleasure of it all, but certainly not for reproductive purposes.
I mean, do they have to go up to the Genesis chamber, and does he have to give himself to the Genesis chamber to obtain genetic material? You know what I'm saying? I'm fascinated by this. I did think it was funny that the age-old kissing trope of, there's guards coming. How do we distract ourselves? Well, let's make out in this dark corner. Didn't work for Seg and Nyssa.
Yeah, I did. I was like, oh, somebody's coming. She's kissing him. And then they're like, it's them. Oh, wow. It didn't work that time.
This may be my favorite General Zod. I know that I'm saying that a little pretty early, but there's something about this Zod that I just really like, because I feel like he really blends what we saw with Michael Shannon and what we got with Terrence Stamp. There's a regalness to him, but then there's also that brutal warrior.
Right.
So, I'm really liking his General Zod. We're getting little bits here and there.
Yes.
I would like to see him go full out General Zod. And then let's see. Adam is drunk, talking to Val about what he has to do, waiting for the Zeta beam, to be fixed. And then he says something.
And I was going to bring this up when you said something about Loki, but I figured I'd wait until it came about. I was like, oh my God, it was Thor. They went back to Thor Ragnarok to Korg when he chases after Loki and he says, piss off, Ghost. My favorite part of Ragnarok, by the way.
Oh, my favorite. Get help. Please tell me we're not doing get help. Help!
Yeah. Or rather, my favorite joke in Thor Ragnarok goes after Loki. And Thor is talking to him, and he's gone too. It's long after he's gone. Piss off, Ghost! He even kicks at the wall.
I like that movie. I mean, that's a whole nother segue, but we'll talk about that later. But I enjoyed it. So what is Adam's arc here? Because what is he doing? Because he basically, he as he's leaving, he erases the files of their conversation. He has his Zeta tube, and he's going out, and we don't know what he's going to do with his Zeta beam. And we know that Seg and the Zods are going to try to attack the Voice of Ra at the end of Cycle Festival to show that he's not really human. And before they get there to do it, one of Ra's, prophetesses, they never really gave him names, basically starts saying that. And then the voice steps into a fire and says, through fire we are reborn, and basically comes out and admits that he's been transformed and that this is who he is now, and basically blows their entire shot of what. Yeah,
that was pretty crazy because I thought it was gonna work too. They had that plan of coming out and shooting him, and him not dying, and they were gonna be like, he's not who he says he is. He's an alien, and rally against him, and then he completely flipped it on him. And he did the same thing, but rallying everybody to him.
It was, it just kind of shows that maybe the people of Krypton want something more. They're done with the established system, and that this Brainiac, at the time they don't know his name, but could be something different to save them, because, he's rallying the poor people against the rankless, and that's why I think that there needs to be a change in that. But what would you rate this episode?
There's pretty good moments in this episode. It's as with the joke, with the Thor Ragnarok reference, and Adam's change from going from, being sorry for himself, feeling that he wasn't a hero, to being determined to do what it takes to make sure that Superman it comes about, actually making that his mission, and in the episode there, Seg had this part where he rallied everybody together. Nyssa, Lyta was arguing with Nyssa, not being able to trust her. Obviously General Zod, he's got his own agenda, but Seg just, he yells and that's it. He says, this is what's going on. This is what we're doing. Nothing you guys have to say. Everybody's on the same side right now. So, this episode's a strong episode. It's a good 8.5 again for me.
I would have to go with an 8. So we're right there. But all right, man. That wraps up this episode of Krypton. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at Krypton Report. You can also email us at kryptonreportpod@gmail.com. If you get a chance to go over to iTunes, please leave us a review to help us get better. If you're an Amazon shopper, just remember you can go to southgatemediagroup.com. There's a portal, log into Amazon, and you'll shop into your account just regular, but it also helps keep all the podcasts on and helps keep Southgate running. remember, look up in the sky.